Hey everyone, it's Sandra, and in my June favorites video, I had lots of requests to do a makeup tutorial on the look that I had on. So that is what I'm doing for you today. I'm going to be going through the exact same products that I used. I'm going to show you how to achieve the look, and I also have another lip option, a brighter lip option if you want to amp up the look for nighttime or if you just want a brighter lip in general. And yeah, if you want to see how I achieve this look, just keep watching. So I'm going to start off by priming the skin, and I am using the Estee Lauder EE cream. This is what I'm using right now as my sunscreen as well. This says SPF 30. It has a very, very light coverage, barely evens out the skin tone, but it does give a really nice luminous finish, and I find that it helps using a really luminous base under a more matte foundation to kind of just even things out and make you look a little bit glowy. I do have oily skin, so I have to use a foundation that has oil control in it. But since this is going to be quite a glowy look, it's not an all-day stay matte type of look, I want to encourage the glow a little bit. So this is what I'm using right now, and I'm just going to put a generous amount of it on the back of my hand, about this much, and then just apply it to my face and blend it all in with my fingers. This is in the shade Light. It comes in 3 shades, I believe, but I think the medium shade is too dark for me, and Light is a little bit too light, but since I never really use this by itself, I only ever use it as a base, it ends up working out. And I do take it right underneath my eyes and down my neck as well. This has that typical sunscreen smell, so if you don't like the smell of sunscreen, you might not like this. All right, now moving on to foundation. The foundation that I wore in my June favorites video was the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. I have this in the shade 102, and I like this foundation. I don't love it though. The color match is really difficult. I can't get a right color match, which is frustrating. And it is a little bit more drying than the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous foundation, but the color selection is slightly better. I feel like even getting this in shade 102 is a better match for me than any shade that I had tried in the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous formula, but it is a little more drying than the CoverGirl, and it has a more velvety finish. This has a little bit more coverage. I like them both equally, to be honest. They're by far the best drugstore foundations that I have used for my skin type, so I do recommend them if you have oily skin. Just be careful with the color match. Anyway, to get just the right color match for me, I mixed it in with about half a pump of Smashbox Studio Skin in the shade number 2.3. This is a very yellow golden based foundation, and I feel like this lacks that yellow golden undertone that I like. So I'm just going to use a little bit of it on the back of my hand and then mix it in with about half a pump of the Smashbox foundation. I always like to start with my chin and cheeks because that's where I have more of my, my pigmentation. And then I'm going to blend it out with a Real Techniques buffing brush, and I'm going to spray a little bit of the First Aid Beauty Vitamin Hydrating Mist just to kind of dampen the brush a little bit, get some hydration in there. You can use Fix Plus or Smashbox Primer Water, any type of mist that you like to use. I find that by doing this and getting the brush just a little bit damp, it helps blend out the foundation better since it is a more drying formula. With whatever I have left on the brush, I just dab on the areas where I need a little bit more coverage. I had a couple of blemishes that were healing on this cheek, so I just like to add a little bit more foundation to build up the coverage in that area. Sometimes doing that is not enough and you still need an extra concealer, and my favorite concealer for covering up blemishes is the Mercier Secret Camouflage. This is very well loved. This is my second one, and I use the shade SC3. I really like it. I don't think I'm going to need it in this tutorial, but if my foundation can't cover up a particular blemish that I want covering up, I always like to use the Mercier Secret Camouflage. Moving on to concealer under my eyes, I'm using the La Mer Radiant Concealer in shade number 2 Medium, and I just apply this with my ring finger and tap it in. Now, in order to set the face makeup and to maintain as much as possible of that glowy finish, but to still set things because I do have oily skin, I like to use the NARS Translucent. This has a very long name. This is the NARS Translucent Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder Pressed. So, this is the powder that I like to set my makeup with if I want to maintain a glowy finish, because I feel like it does take the edge off so you don't look greasy, but maintains the glow. The only thing I don't like about this powder is that it looks absolutely disgusting once you hit pan. It's like a weird pan. It's not a normal pan. It's got these weird crisscrosses in it, and I hate it. Every time I look at this, it just looks so gross. It is a great powder. And this is a MAC 138 brush. I like the shape of it because it allows you to go in there and set in the under eye area as well. And then you can just move on and do the rest of your face. And you only need one brush. So for the eyes, I'm just using the first two colors of the Clé de Peau Baby Universe eyeshadow quad. So I'm gonna use this light brown color all over the lid and then pack a little bit of this shimmery color on the top of the lid for some luminous action. So I'm using a MAC 217 brush and just putting the light brown color all over the eye, up to the crease and above the crease as well, just blending it all out. Then I'm taking the exact same brush and dipping it into that shimmery shade of the palette and just tapping the color on top of the lid just to get a more luminous finish. And that's it for the eyes, all done. Just going to apply some mascara. I'm going to curl my lashes and I'm using the CoverGirl mascara. This is the supersizer and it's waterproof. I'm also going to use a white eyeliner on the waterline. I've really been enjoying this. This is by the brand Alima Pure. This is an all-natural type of beauty brand, and they sent me this eyeliner and I've really been enjoying it. It actually lasts a long time. For some reason, I wouldn't think that an all-natural cosmetic product would last a long time on the waterline, especially on my eyes. They're watery, they're oily, they're all the things. And this lasts all day long, and I like the fact that it's not a very stark white. It's not as in your face as MAC Fascinating, for example. So this is in the color Paper, and I'm just gonna use it on the waterline. So you see, it just gives a really, really subtle eye-opening effect. And I'm going to do my brows really quick. I'm using the Maybelline brow pencil. This is the blonde shade, just to give some light definition. So I just filled them in lightly with the pencil and I'm just brushing them up with the spoolie end. And I'm going to use a little bit of brow gel. This is the Maybelline Brow Drama. This is also the color Blonde. I'm not blonde, but I find that using the blonde shade in this Maybelline brow range ends up suiting me better than the dark ones. The darker brown colors are a little bit too warm for my liking. All right, back to the finishing touches of the face. I'm going to use some bronzer, and this is my go-to bronzer right now. It's the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I only want a light veil of bronzer around the face. If you have the Chanel Le Beige powder in number 40, this is very similar to that. So I'm using a MAC 187 brush since I just want a sheer application. Starting off with the cheeks and then moving on to the outer perimeters of the face. And a little bit on the nose as well. Now for blush, I'm using my favorite blush right now. This is Too Faced Baby Love. This is from their new Love Flush blush collection. And I'm just using a small, dense blush brush to pack the color on and just buff it in. And in my June favorites video, I was not wearing any highlighter, but my makeup had a few hours to set and to look more glowy as my natural oils came out. But since I want that effect right now, I'm going to use some highlighter. The good old Dior Amber Diamond. I have thought about selling this so many times because I don't use it very often. I don't use powder highlighters very often. It's not a product that I like to buy a lot, but I just can't seem to part with this, even though I don't use it often. It's a beautiful highlighter and it just brings back memories to those early YouTube days. So I'm just going to use the same blush brush and just buff on a little bit of all the colors of Dior Amber Diamond and just use it at the tops of the cheeks and a little bit the top of my forehead to highlight the face. And the final step is the lips. And in the video, I was wearing this lip combination, which is MAC in Anticipation lip liner with the Maybelline Baby Lips lip gloss in the shade Pink Pizazz. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm going to apply the gloss on top. So that is the finished look. If you do want to amp this up a little bit for nighttime, I do have a bright pink lip option. So I'm gonna show you that right now. So I just blotted off the gloss and I'm going to touch up the liner just a little bit. And you can use something like this. This is the Too Faced Melted Metallic Macaroon. A very, very pretty, bright, warm pink color. And don't be scared by the name of this. This is really not that metallic in finish. It's just enough of a hint of sheen. So that is the second lip option. Look, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next video. Bye.